And welcome to Blackjack Sports. My name is Jackson Gerke, alongside with Blake Weinberger. It is Monday after a fun weekend of football from the best time ever, after a fun weekend of college and the NFL, and definitely is some stuff a lot to be talked about in this fun weekend. So, with that, we're going to start with some college football, and after a big blowout, Alabama crushes Florida 50 to like 7, I believe. And then in close games, we got Virginia Tech trying to rally and try to come back against Clemson. They tried their best. They didn't do so well in that game. And then the other game, Penn State versus Wisconsin. That game went back and forth, and all of a sudden, Penn State fighted on their way to the second half, and they won that game. And Wisconsin was a good first half team, but we've learned that Penn State is a very good second half team, and of course you got the NFL where you have some good games there, just some wow games there in the NFL, and that's where I want to start off today, Blake. And good afternoon, and what's happening today on Blackjack Sports.
Jack, you summed it up, man. Listen, crazy weekend in football. Clemson almost gets beat. We thought that was a surefire win for Clemson. They played a tight game. Virginia Tech played a really tough game, almost beat them. Alabama dominated Florida, destroyed them. Wasn't even close. Washington wins. Jackson, the top four have been chosen. Washington's in, so who does that leave out?
Well, I think it leaves out Alabama. Well, not Alabama, but I would have to say it's Michigan
That's
and
right.
Wisconsin, because
Yes.
of their loss to Penn State in the second half after what happened. Because I think what happened to Wisconsin is, I didn't watch that game, but you probably didn't either, but I did a little bit. But what happened is that Wisconsin just drive the ball into like going into Penn State territory, I believe, and like Georgia way over to the to get their scoring a touchdown. They end up getting a field goal during that possession. So one engine, they got some more games and more games of yardage, I think, in that game. So I think Penn State had a touchdown when that lead was very close, and from what I've heard, Penn State had the ball towards the end of the game, and they called like timeout after timeout, and I think Penn State did their job, and that's one reason why they won that football game.
Yeah, Jack, Penn State's not happy about the top four. They want to be the number 4 spot. Michigan feels like they've got a good argument to be in the 4 spot. Wisconsin's got a good argument to be in the 4 spot. Hey, how about Western Michigan, the only other team that's undefeated other than Alabama, but they're not in a Power 5 conference. Jackson, a lot of people are really upset about Washington's non-conference schedule. They said it was garbage. They had one of the worst non-conference schedules out there, but yet they're in the top 4. I mean, Jackson, listen, at the end of the day, there's several people in this committee that get to decide who's going to go to the playoffs. And this year, there were several teams that were 2-loss teams that got in. Now, the Big Ten had a playoff this year, yet the winner of their playoff, their conference championship, will not be going to the playoffs for college football. So, Jackson, there's a lot of interesting pieces going on. However, you have number 1, Alabama. There's no question they're number 1, right, Jack?
That's right, Blake. And the reason why we're saying that is because maybe the Big Ten isn't that good of a conference, or maybe the Big 12. I think that Oklahoma State game is that perfect, but I think the one reason you look at it is that if the Big Ten weren't that great, let's face it, Michigan, I think, is sitting out there and could be one of the teams that first 4 out. And I think what you see, and you look at their losses they had this season, you look at the team against when they lost to Iowa, and I think a couple others as well. I think the way it's going to play out for the Big Ten is you have Ohio State, who is going up against Clemson, and that game over there in Glendale. So
Woo.
that is definitely going to be a challenge for the Big Ten.
Jackson,
If they can find a way to pull this out.
What stadium are they playing at in Glendale? I think we lost you for a second, Jack. Are you
Which
still
to
there?
me is
Sorry, go ahead. What stadium are they playing at in
yes,
Glendale?
can you hear me?
Now I can. Sorry. What stadium are they playing at in Glendale?
That is in University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale.
Okay. Pretty good stadium. You think that's a great place to play?
I think it's a great venue, great place to play, a very nice stadium, a very nice design to it. That's definitely going to be a good game to watch as well.
Now check this out, Jackson. Clemson's a traditionally very well-traveled team, but Ohio State's a more well-traveled team than Clemson, and Clemson's got a lot further to go to get to Glendale, Arizona than Ohio State does. I'm expecting to see a lot of Ohio State fans in the stadium, but I think that between those two fan bases, they might sell that stadium out.
I think so too, Blake. And depending on who gets there first, then that's going to be who's going to win the game more.
Now, Jackson.
I will say that yes.
Sorry, it keeps
yes.
Our satellite signal's not too
Go
good
ahead,
right
Blake.
now. Sorry, our satellite signal's rough. Now, Jackson, on the other side, you've got Alabama and Washington. Does Washington even have a chance, a snowball's chance in Tampa Bay, Florida, to win this game? Come on, man.
No chance. And here's why they have no chance.
Come on.
Because you're going up against Nick Saban
Woo.
and Jalen Hurts, and the best of all, Alabama Crimson Tide, and their defense. There is absolutely no chance they're going to win this game. And here's why. You have Alabama's great defense that you can't mess with. And Alabama has a great football team. They have great receivers. Jalen Hurts has his mans to catch the ball with, and they have good game yardage, and they can run the ball very well. And that's one reason why Washington can't win this game. There's absolutely no chance, and it's not going to happen.
Jack, I love it. No doubt about it. I think you're exactly right. They have no chance. Washington's got no chance. You know, they got in. Good for them. If Michigan would have been in this game, they would have had a chance. Maybe Wisconsin. I don't think Washington's got a shot. I think it's going to be I think they're going to get destroyed. But congrats for them getting in. Jackson, we'll talk more NFL football later. We're going to talk about Cam Newton getting fined. Or not fined, but getting benched for one play because of his apparent apparel misconduct, not wearing a tie on team travel. We'll talk about that later. It's been great broadcasting with you on a Monday evening. Good talking to you, Jack. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good, Blake. You too.